I have been working on the internet for a little over an hour this morning. I'm finally got Dude uploading to the YouTubes. It's pretty slow, but at least we're live and I'll be able to work today, so that'll be good. I worked on this most of the day yesterday that I was home as well, and I gotta tell you, man. Ugh. So yesterday was a pretty, it was a pretty emotionally kind of day. So I got up and I went to Athens, which is about 2 hours away, to have lunch with Sarah Cozy, as I think I talked about at the end of the vlog that's uploading right now. And I had edited the video Saturday night and I was going to upload it, except the internet was out, and then it was out again Sunday morning, and I figured, alright, that's fine, I'll deal with it when I get back. I'll get back in plenty of time. So, because the time-consuming part was over, the editing part was over, it was already done, so I wasn't really terribly fussed. So I get home and I unplug the router and I reboot the modem and unplug it and do all the things you're supposed to do. All the things you're supposed to do. And then I'm still out of luck. So I had texted Parrish on the way home to remind, because I wanted to talk to him about getting the internet, his account canceled so I could get mine, because I can't get my own unless he cancels his first, which is a very strange thing, but there it is. And he didn't respond, so I texted him again after I had messed with the internet and it wasn't working, and said, I need to talk to you about the internet, I need it, it's out, you know, I'm gonna have to have it for work tomorrow, blah blah blah, call me please. And still didn't hear back from him. So I called the internet provider and I said, I told them what the issue was, and I told them the kind of the situation, and when I finally got them to understand, they were able to tell me that the account had been canceled. And I was like, oh, well, that's good, I can go ahead and get my own. What are the chances I can get it turned on by Monday at 9 a.m? And he said, you know, they're not bad actually, because they can turn it on, because I don't need a modem or a router, because I have both of those. They weren't leased through the cable company. They were, Parrish bought them, so he owns them, so I can use those until I get my own, right? So they switched me over to somebody else. I don't know, but he had a hard time understanding me when I was telling him my last name. It's not an uncommon last name. I mean, it's not a common like last name like Smith or Jones or whatever, but it's not uncommon either. It's not like a difficult last name. But I was really struggling getting him to understand that, and I spelled it 1,100 times, and I spelled it with the I forget what that alphabet's called. You know, the Alpha Beta Golf Hotel, blah blah blah, that one. That airlines use, and the military alphabet? I don't know, it's called something. Regardless, couldn't get him to understand me there either. Finally got him there. Finally got him there. And then he tells me that I can't have my own account because there's a balance due on the prior account. And I was like, that's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. I don't think you're understanding me. Like, what happens if I had sold this house and left a balance on that account? The new people wouldn't be able to have internet either until they pay the unpaid balance on the address? Like, that's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. That's why you get our social security numbers, doofus. I was like, I need to talk to somebody else. We aren't understanding each other. And he put me on hold for, I don't know, like maybe 5 or 6 minutes, and finally came back, and it was him again. And apparently he had just clarified that that was in fact what was going on, and said, okay, great, we can get you set up, but I'm gonna have to have somebody in the sales team call you to do it. And I was like, so he's like, in 2 hours, somebody from the sales team will call you back. And I was like, sure they will, because it's Sunday at like 5. So I called Parrish this time, and he didn't answer. And then he called maybe, I don't know, a couple hours later, when I was like in the middle of going through the storage room in the garage to get like the remaining little flakes of things of his out. And So I was really mad, and I was pretty short, and I've been super stressed, as all of you know, about other things that are going on top of this mess. So, so we have an emotional conversation, and I tell him that there's a balance on the account, and he was like, I don't know anything about that, and the account hasn't been canceled. He hadn't canceled it yet. So I don't know whose wires are crossed. I think Paris pays that bill automatically, so maybe his card expired. I don't know. Either way, I had no internet. And that is why the vlog didn't go out. So this morning I got up at 6 to start messing with it again and trying to get it to work. And I don't know if it was a combination of me turning the routers on and off 1100 times, or if they finally got it turned back on. I don't know. But it finally came back on about 7:30. About 7:30 this morning. And so the vlog is uploading. It's really slow. Normally my vlogs take 10 to 15 minutes to upload. Today it's taking 30, which worries me a tiny bit, but I don't really care because I don't have to go sit in a Starbucks to do all my calls today. And that was what I was really worried about, is having to do that. So I don't have to. Hooray. Now that my face is ready. Oh my gosh. Oh, the knees. Oh, the knees. Now that my face is ready, 1100 minutes later, what is it, 6 minutes? 6 minutes later, I didn't do anything to like the face part, just the eyes. That's all right, I'm gonna leave it in the house. So I've still got 18 minutes left. I still have a ton of comments to do. I gotta go pull the trash out because I hear the trash guy, and I gotta go sit down at 8 because I have my first calls at 9, and I need to go through the 20,000 emails I got last night. And it looks like we are on another stressful week. Ha-ha! It turns out that he hated this over here. So even with it raised, he'd get in it because his bed was in it, but he doesn't like being squished. So I found this little guy. He's a vintage sewing table. He's probably from like the 50s or the 60s. He's not that old. It's a sewing table. So I was able to run the cord up underneath it and then out through a hole in the back there. And look at this, he's still not in his bed, dadgummit. Oh. So this holds his bed perfectly, plenty of room for him to squish and roll around, and it's more aesthetically pleasing than that thing. And this thing I'm going to give to my sister. She's going to be, she's got a big, I think it's called a lotus tower, I can't remember, but it's a big sort of same kind of shapes, but it's a cat tower, so it's got lots of little shelves going on. So I'm going to give this to her because she's got a million cats because they're all rescues and that's what they do. So this little goober is still preferring to be outside. I think he's just hot. I think that's really what it is he just wants to be stretched out a little longer and not quite so snuggled down. But I feel like this is going to be a much better option for him because it's even. It's perfectly even with the top of the table. So I think he's going to like it a lot better eventually. Can you see that? That's a squirrel hanging out on my curtains. What are you doing, dude?
Progress. He's in.
He seems happy. Are you happy? It finally happened, guys. I finally asked the same question twice. And not only did I do that once today, I did that twice today. You know what the worst part is I know that I am saying the same thing I just said as the words are coming out of my mouth, and I just can't stop myself. Like, I feel like I've hit my absolute maximum in terms of working hours in a row. If that isn't evidence of my super long last 2 weeks, I don't know what is. I mean, it's my equivalent of empty beer bottles. So do you remember I told you that I was getting a squirrel doormat to go outside that patio door? This is it. It looks exactly like it does in the picture, except that it's fuzzy. It's soft, like a stuffed animal. It would probably do as a bath mat. It's got the rubber on the back, but I don't want it in my bathroom. So, so I'm gonna take this thing, which is just a plastic cheapy thing, and just leave this in the garage because I don't think it would do well actually out. But it's really cute. I like it a lot, and I think it'll be fine without this with the purple plastic thing. We'll get rid of that. This is Goodwill. That hasn't gone to Goodwill yet because lazy. Here we are. We have made it again. Before anyone comments that I'm wearing red and black, I'm not actually wearing red and black. This is orange and navy. It just doesn't read very well on the camera. I never wear red and black. You should all know this by now. So it's Sunday. Yesterday was an incredible day. My super awesome Cher graduated with her nurse practitioner's master's thingamajiggy. I think it's officially called a master's in nursing, but she can be a nurse practitioner now, or that's what she is, or will be when she passes the boards. So huge day. There was graduation on the front lawn, and I think I got a tiny little clip of that. And then we had a party and got to see everybody, and that was always nice. So I crashed around 4 and sort of bailed. Graduation was super early in the morning, and I had to get up even super earlier because it's about a 2-hour drive for me, and you know, I didn't want to be late and all of that. So it was a long day. But it was a great day. I was really, really happy, really proud of her. She's worked crazy hard. So she deserves and has earned just immense amounts of not only praise, but the benefits of all of that. So good for her. I don't know how to speak right now. So it is Sunday. I have probably 6 or 7 hours of work to do today. So I'm just gonna go ahead and edit the vlog and get it up so I don't have to think about it anymore. I'm going to de-stress by doing the planner decoration thing for the next week, and then I'm gonna nestle down and work. I actually do have calls today, but they aren't until later this afternoon. So I'm gonna take care of like the de-stressing stuff, and then I'm gonna get on the other things. So other than my 2 calls, nothing else is imperative that it get done, but I would like to get it done to get a jump on next week so I can try to keep this momentum of having worked. What is it? I think I've worked 70-hour weeks last couple of weeks. Hang on, hold on, wait a minute. I keep my averages. For me, I don't get paid hourly, I get paid by a salary, but I like to keep my averages just in case anything ever pops up. Yeah, so it's been an average of 70 hours the past 2 weeks, and it'll probably be 70 to 80 next week. But I think after Friday of next week, I should be back up to like full, regular old 60-hour. I should be back to where I am comfortable. And not quite so stressed, so hopefully the vlogs will get more interesting. I had planned on exploring a nature reserve that's not too far from my house today, but I don't think I'm gonna have time after all. So I'm gonna take care of the things I have to get done first, and if I do have time to do that, I will do it. I really need to exercise the golf cart too, because I haven't taken it out in, gosh, five weeks now, which is bad. You're supposed to take it out once a week. So got a lot to do. Got a lot to do today. But we'll get it done because you have to. Right. So that was my week. Encourage each other with sweetness and light, and I will see you next Sunday.